Good morning, folks. Hope you're all doing well. I'm here to talk about a couple of things that I love for a Bob talk that's going to be released around St. Valentine's Day. I thought about some of the things, how could I relate love to pottery? And well, I love a good cup of coffee in the morning. Who doesn't? And so it's as long as it's hot, strong, it's good. And I'm going to show you how to make a coffee cup because I love clay too. This substance has really made an impact on my life, and I'm going to show you how to make a good coffee cup. And there's different styles you could try someday on your own, maybe. Come into the ceramic studio here in Virginia Wesleyan and try your own cup, different shapes. It's good. Now, hopefully I can get through this taping. This is a second take. I started earlier today, just about done, and the phone started ringing. And I'm filming today with my iPhone. And I guess I haven't figured out the technology how to shut off the cellular while I'm actually doing my taping. The first time that's happened for me. So we're going to give this another go. I'm going to take about it's about a half a pound of clay, maybe less. A little smaller than a tennis ball. Attach it down here to my potter's wheel. We're going to get spinning. It's kind of a medium speed. Take my sponge and wet the clay down. What you have to do, it's called put it in center. And that puts everything into balance. Smooths out the clay. That's our first step in making our cup. Next, you got to open that up. And depending on what kind of cup you're making, you either open it up a little bit or open it up wide. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This cup is a cylindrical cup. So is this one. Pretty much straight sides, flat bottom. In that case, you want to open it up wide and flat on the bottom. This one here is more like a small bowl with a handle strapped to it. And so it doesn't have that flat bottom to it. It's more of a dished out. In that case, you would just start with a narrow bottom. I'm going to go for the cylindrical. Pull this open. Get that flat bottom spinning. And then I got to bring that clay upwards a little bit. Change my speed, take it down a little bit. Bring up my clay from the sides. I'm on my way to making a nice cup. I want to check to make sure that my cylinder has the volume that I want, because I have to remember this clay is going to shrink, and it's important, it's going to shrink, that you have the right volume at this point to hold enough coffee. Tool here is a rib. Sometimes it'll help me smooth out the clay. The other thing I have to look at is the rim. I like to have a certain thickness on the clay at the rim. If it's too thick and round, when you drink out of it, the liquid will drip down your mouth. That's not pleasant. So I like a sharp kind of lip, like this. It's not sharp though, and jagged sharp. It's just thinner. So I'm gonna thin that down just a little bit. Good coffee. It's one of the things I do love in the morning. Now when I volunteered, or accepted the invitation, I should say, to make this video for you, and teach you a little bit about something that I love. I was thinking about making some humorous jokes, playing around, because I do like to have fun. A lot of fun at my job. So I was thinking, we could call it 50 Shades of Clay, but that's not a thing. Let's not go there. So that was a bad joke. Then I thought, well, we could relate it to love and the love scene from Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore at the Potter's Wheel. What a good one. If you haven't seen it, you might want to look it up. Probably my students have not seen it, because that really came out a long time ago when I think about it. It shows how old I am. But I didn't feel the need to go into too much humor. In fact, I'm kind of rejecting it a little bit. It's 2020, the year 2020, and there's nothing funny going on here. And I thought I'd stay away from the humor today. And I'm not really a comedian, even though I like to have fun. I'll just stick to the art. Do what I do best. Today, though, is my wife's birthday. I love her dearly. So we can bring that into this. I was able to find for her something that she loves. I bought her cannolis. She's going to love those cannolis when I bring them to her tonight. Picked them up last night. Kind of waiting at home, hidden in the fridge, of course. So here's my cup. That's going to be a really nice cup. I like that shape. I like the simplicity of the cylinder. I've become more and more, I think, a simple person as I've grown older, as a person and as an artist. So yeah, see this how this wheel head comes off? This is called a bat, and that's so I don't have to touch that cup, because this clay is buttery soft. It's just really soft clay, so we can't put a handle on it just yet. But I actually have a piece that I made a few days ago, and it's ready for a handle. I'm going to show you how to put a handle on this cup. But there's our cylinder that we're going to start off with and make a fine cup out of at another point. I'm going to set it aside and pick up this guy over here. This is another cylinder similar to that. I like the shape of this one. It's got some nice finger ridges in it, little gestural ridges that we make, or I made. And here I've scored it up. I've roughened up the surface with my needle tool. It is ready to accept the handle. We just got to put a little slip in it, and let me gather a little bit here from my bucket. Just wet that down, and I'm ready to pull a handle. So I'm going to show you how that happens. As part of this demonstration, I need a piece of canvas to lay my handle on once I have it pulled. And a carat of clay. That's what I like to call this when I teach it to my students. I say, make a carat, which is kind of a taper. It goes from fat to thinner tapers, and you wet that taper down and start to pull on the clay and slide downwards at the same time. And I'm making what right now a round handle, but I'm going to flatten it in a moment. I'm going to flatten it on the top and then on the bottom with my fingers and hand here. This is what we call a pulled handle. require my students to make their cups with pulled handles. And I still have cups that I made in undergraduate school. I started this love of clay in 1986 at Berry College in Rome, Georgia, under the direction of Mr. Jerry Likens. I wouldn't say direction, he just turned me on to stuff and got me into art. Him and a guy named Tommy Mew, professor there, who was my advisor. And between he and Jerry, pointed me in the direction of a career in art. Here I am. I'm going to lay that handle down. And what I want to do is cut it. I use a Fetley knife for that. This clay knife. I'm going to cut the thick end at an angle. And I'll show you why. So see that angle I cut off? I'm going to set that aside. Leave my handle there for a moment. If you look at this, how this handle is attached to this cup, it kind of springs upwards and around. It's kind of like your ear. It comes up. It doesn't just come straight out and down. So that's the way I like to do it, and that I usually teach my students. More liquid energy. Put a little slip on the end here, and I can pick up my cup. A little more here for that. Grab my handle gently, because this is really soft clay. Now this is what we call leather hard. I made this a few days ago, and I've let it firm up, and that's a good time to put the handle on. You have to put the handle on while the clay is still wet. Wet clay won't stick to dry clay, so you got to get it when it's leather hard and it's firm and it won't change its shape. So now's the perfect time to do it. So I'm going to set that down, press my handle to the scored area from underneath, and get it to stick. Then I like to pick it up like this, and now I can adjust my handle. Like, that would be way too big, wouldn't it? So you got to make that functional decision, but also aesthetic decision. What looks right on this cup? And I usually like to be able to get at least 2 fingers through. With this one, I really like this cup because it's very thin and light, but it has a strap handle that I can even, grab it with my whole hand. This is the spot. Let me just adjust this. Then I usually push on and tear like that. And a little more water. Take off the sharp edges. Make sure that handle is stuck onto your clay. And then I let it dry slowly, usually with a little plastic over it. Just slowly drying down. Let the handle's moisture consistency kind of match that of the cup. Adjustment, there we go. Last thing it needs is signature stamp. I've been using this signature stamp since 91 it says on that, stamped on that. Haven't lost it. Just makes it look kind of cool. There. Oh yeah, and always sign it. Sign it with my name. My full name. Everybody who buys art wants to buy a signed original. So why not give them what they want, right? Sign it. Don't just put your nickname on there or something. And I don't write 2020 on these cups anymore or any of my artwork. It's bad luck. I just put 2 X's down. I'm afraid of 2020. I want it to go away just like everybody. But there's our cup. And it's something that I love. And now I can have a cup of coffee, pick my morning up, start my day right. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Maybe you learned something, maybe it would turn you on and get you to come over to the art studio, make some art, make some cups. And hope you'll enjoy those. All right, I'm gonna finish this up, shut it off, and say goodbye. Take care. Stay safe and healthy.